everybody. I'm Cassidy, one of your Indianapolis Colts cheerleaders, and you're watching the Bleav in Colts podcast.
Welcome back to Bleav in Colts and I just messed that all up, but oh well, who cares? I'm Lawrence Owen. With me, as usual, is Jerraud Powers, and because of the early week of this week, our other co-host Rodney McLeod's not able to make it with us today. Was Saturday games a thing for you, Jerraud, back then?
Nah, I don't think I ever played on a Saturday. Not that I remember. I was actually trying to think about it a few days ago, and I don't think I played on a Saturday in the league.
Yeah, the Colts have had a few Saturday games the past couple years, and it's kind of new, kind of interesting. But I get having a Saturday game when college is out.
Right.
That's fine. When college is done, then the Saturday games should bring in a little bit of extra, because they're the only games on at the time. So that's good to watch. But we're going to go over this past weekend's games, and oh my, there were some surprises, and in all honesty, some things that I kind of expected. I honestly thought the Niners were going to utterly blow out the team they were playing, right? The Buccaneers. I didn't think they were going to be that bad. I thought, 14 points, not 35-7. What'd you see from the Niners hosting the Buccaneers?
I think you see just a well-coached team. I think you see guys that's, really prepared. I mean, obviously they got one of the best defenses, if not the best defense in football. They're hot right now on that side of the ball. And then when you look at the other side of the ball, you lose, two starting quarterbacks, and all of a sudden you're down to your third string quarterback, and he looks like he's clicking on all cylinders for these first two games. So, and then Debo had a little scare, which came back. I think high ankle sprain, MCL sprain. So that was good news for them because it looked bad when I was watching it. But, you still got playmakers all over the field. You still got, CMC. You still got Kittle. Their wide receivers making big-time plays. I think you just got a well-rounded machine, a team that's full of, good vets, and, they're helping bringing the young guys that's been got their number called. They're just helping them bring them along, and, it's a crucial part of the season.
Basketball is back. BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, game trends at BetOnline. As your continued source for all sports wagering information, BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and giveaways all season long. Always the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports and events, whether that's NFL, NBA, NHL, MMA, tennis, boxing, even golf. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure to use promo code Bleav, that's BLEAV, to receive your rewards. BetOnline, where the game starts. Yeah, you brought up a few of those players, like obviously, Brandon Ayuk is over there,
yes,
and you check, right? But do you put how well the offense is playing, no matter what quarterback is on there, with the players, Shanahan being able to make it easy maybe for the quarterback, no matter who it is, or do you think it's just they're just good as a unit to be able to allow it seems like any quarterback walk in, and play well for them?
I think it's a little mixture of both. Obviously you want the guys that's doing the game plan, all the coaches to put guys in position to succeed. And that's what they're doing. Kyle Shanahan, for years has been known as one of the better coaches in the league. Everybody respects Kyle Shanahan's mind when it comes to the offense, and obviously he knows how to run a football team with the success, that he's been having with San Fran. But you got to give credit to the players. I mean, those are the guys that got to go out there and play. It just shows you that these guys are well prepared. And, it seems like they're a team with a bigger picture in mind. It's a team with Super Bowl aspirations, and that's how they're going about it. And it's kind of cool to see, like I said, your third string quarterback comes in and he's making some throws that we didn't see from the other two quarterbacks. He's standing in the pocket. He don't look like a rookie. He's not he don't have the happy feet, or he don't look, too anxious. I mean, the guy looked poised under the center, and obviously Kyle Shanahan has changed the game plan to make him feel more comfortable in what he can do.
Absolutely. I want to kind of divert back to our own division. The Colts still have mathematically a chance to even win the division, right? After the Titans have been falling the last few weeks, just like the Colts have. Jaguars go in to Nissan and beat the doors off of them 36-22. What do you think about that?
It was a shocker. I mean, that was a shocker, but I'm not going to sit here and say that, Jacksonville is this horrible team. I think we've all, said that Jacksonville is kind of on a, come up. It's not the same old Jacksonville. They're very competitive. They got some good players, but when you look at the Titans and how they've been kind of dominating the division this year, you just didn't see that coming. But, the Titans kind of had – I guess some turmoil, some problems within the organization. Last week you go to Philly and have a horrible loss, and your GM gets fired. So it's a lot of things that's kind of being shaken up in the Titans organization right now that could have caused, well, not caused, but could have been a part of that loss to Jacksonville. But I expect the Titans to kind of get things back in order. I mean, Vrabel is a hell of a coach, obviously. The defense is definitely going to have to tighten up. I think their secondary is kind of letting them down right now, but got to get Derrick Henry back going some way, somehow, get the O-line back blocking how they normally block. But I think they'll bounce back.
Yeah. Well, I'm sitting here watching this, and then I go over, and look at the previous game. The Texans made a game out of the Cowboys. Oh my goodness!
Had the game. I thought they were going to win it.
Me too.
I mean, Dak. I don't know what's up with Dak. Ever since he came back from his injury, I think he's leading the league in interceptions since he came back. I think it's been 8 weeks. He got 8 or 9 interceptions. The past 8 weeks, and he don't look as confident as he normally do. I mean, it's a different look on his face with him been struggling a little bit. And, they've been relying heavily on their defense to make plays for him, and they still have been. But one thing Dak did do is have a 98-yard winning drive to win that game. But some of the throws that he was making in the course of that game was kind of shaky to me. Didn't look like the Dak that we're accustomed to seeing.
Absolutely. And, I'm sitting here, with the Texans, who have one win in their record right now, and they made a game out of the Cowboys. Does that make our game the week prior against the Cowboys look that even worse?
I wouldn't say that. The week prior, you got primetime game, and the Colts are still one of the better defenses. I mean, it's still a respected team that you can't just walk out on the field and beat. You're going to have to execute and do things the right way. But when you have a game like that, and then the following week you're playing, the Texans, which, two teams in the same state, familiar with one another, hate one another, big game in that aspect for the state, you would expect them to come out with a little bit more fire than they did on offense. And this might be one of those, few times that we've seen Dallas offense look kind of lackadaisical, if that's the right term for it. And it really starts with the quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely. Was there a game that completely and utterly surprised you besides the game that we just talked about?
Let me see. I will say probably, the Lions and Vikings. I know we got the Vikings coming in. We got to go to the Vikings, this Saturday and play them. And they're coming off a bad loss, to the Lions. And, got to give respect to the Lions. Got to tip my hat to them. Their offense have been clicking, here of late. But you just, didn't think a 10-2 team that's been playing well as the Vikings to go, and play that bad. They just look bad versus the Lions. So that was kind of a shocker to me. If I had a parlay going, I would have definitely had the Vikings on that parlay, and I would have been pissed off about that one.
Well, I kind of looked at it, and I thought this was going to be a really high-scoring game. It still scored, 57 overall?
Yeah.
But I looked at the Vikings defense. It's not that great. They got a couple guys over there, but overall the defense the Vikings and the Lions are very similar teams when they both have very high powered offenses, but their defense is kind of give up a lot of yards. I think the Vikings average 400 yards given up defensively per game. I mean, wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
no, that's a lot of yards. Kind of a bend don't break type situation. Maybe give up a lot of yards and hold them to field goals. But yeah, that's going to be interesting. Heading down to the end of the season, getting into the playoffs because you're going to need you're not going to be able to give up that many yards and win when it matters. So you're going to need your defense to kind of step it up a little bit.
absolutely, that will be something that we'll talk about on the next episode with the Colts. But another game that I thought that was kind of surprised. I thought the Giants was going to make more of a game against the Eagles. In all honesty, as a matter of fact, didn't Rodney pick the Giants to win this game?
Rodney did. Rodney did. I'm gonna have to give him some slack about that one. But talking about the Eagles and the Giants, you're talking about a division rivalry. Both teams are good. Both teams are having great years. And I think the Eagles, wanted to make a statement, wanted to prove a point that, they can handle facing teams that they know they should beat, teams that they feel like they're better than, and they're not taking anybody lightly. I think Jalen Hurts have done a good job in kind of making that entire team have his type of mentality, and it's all, seriousness. It's all about the business. I saw a video clip. And it's A.J. Brown and a couple receivers are on the sideline, and they're laughing, joking around. The game was out of reach at this point, and literally Jalen Hurts is sitting right next to him, and he never cracked a smile. Was just dialed in, still focused. So I think that's the face of that team. They got a good leader that's leading them right now, and they're having a hell of a year.
Absolutely. The Eagles right now are just dominating. It seems like just about everyone except for that one loss that hit them. The 12-1 though. Wow,
I'm looking forward to seeing. I want to say it's Christmas Day or it's coming up soon. I'm looking forward to the Eagles Cowboys matchup because it's gonna mean a lot. But I want to ask you: do you think Jalen Hurts is front runner for MVP?
That's a good. Well, it's the thing, right? In my opinion, there's quite a few out there, but Jalen is the guy right now for he's the reason why they are where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because he makes the plays that needs to be made, whether it's on the ground or through the air. So yeah, I can imagine that he would be front runner right now.
If you had to choose him or because Pat Mahomes is having a hell of a year as well. Joe Burrow and what he's doing, he might be in that conversation. I might be jumping the gun with that a little bit, but I want to say he might be in that conversation. But if you had to choose between Jalen and Pat, which one will you give your vote to?
In all honesty, with the division that the Eagles are in, and you see, you look at the NFC East, and every team in that division right now is in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Every team, and they
Tough
fight
division.
Every team in that division twice. Whereas Patrick Mahomes, the in his division, it doesn't look as good. So I kind of have to give it to Jalen and the Eagles at this point.
I agree. No, I'm with you. I think I would give my vote, even though Pat's having a hell of a year. And his best weapon that he's had for the past few years is on another team, and he's proved that, he can be the center focus and, the guy that makes everybody better around him. I think I still will have to give my vote to Jalen because nobody expected Jalen to play as good as he's been playing this year.
No. And you got a lot of people out there going, he was a second round pick. Why didn't our team? And, hindsight's 2020, right? You can't always take those guys out.
Because last year when they played his rookie year, even he got him to the playoff, but they struggled. He was kind of up and down all year. But I thought it was like a real good successful type season by him just getting to the playoffs, and maybe them getting to the playoffs was something that, sparked in him or something that clicked in him. And, he's been playing lights out, man, since the season started.
Absolutely. And I mean, it's not like he's out there doing it himself. I mean, obviously the GM out there has been, who's that?
Roseman. I think Roseman.
Yeah.
He's done a hell of a job putting that team together.
Yes, he has, man. There's a lot of really good playmakers on both sides of that ball right there.
Yep.
Man, let's take a look at yesterday's game, Monday Night Football. Oh my goodness, is there a certain head coach that week after week just looks like his job is even more and more and more in trouble.
Well, let's not just say the head coach. I think you got to put the GM in that category with him, man. Hopefully, I don't know what the reports came back on Kyler Murray. It didn't look good, non-contact, going down the way that he did. They do got a solid backup in Colt McCoy. He's proven that he can play and he can win. But I think I picked the Patriots to win this one. I think, but you just don't expect the Cardinals to look, like they're looking and all the things that's been going on with the head coach and the quarterback and all those type of stuff. I think it's just time clock counting down until, we get that headline to say that someone's been fired, whether it's the GM or the head coach. And I'm not a guy to advocate firings, but I think everybody can kind of see the writing on the wall with this one.
Oh, yeah, I think so as well. We've been talking about it for weeks, and it just doesn't get it's not looking any better week after week after week. I mean, I get that, they went up against the Patriots. Bill Belichick, he knows how to deal with certain situations. That defense is scary.
No, Judon, they got it. My guy Judon. I was just about to say that. He's a dog, man. I played with Judon his rookie year, and I'll tell you a quick story with Judon. I remember his rookie year. I mean, he's under Terrell Suggs, and Suggs is giving him all the gems, like on what to do, how to become a great pass rusher and all that. I remember having a conversation with him. It was just like, yeah, next year you're going to be the guy. Suggs is going to leave, and then you're going to make a name for yourself. Then the next year you're going to do this and do that, and then boom, you're going to be one of the highest paid pass rushers in the league. And, ever since he's been in New England, he's proven that, he's still one of the best in the league. And I think he's done a tremendous job in becoming one of the better leaders on that defense. And he's doing a hell of a job, man. I mean, every game it seems like he's making a play or two that just can change the game.
And well, to this point, it's been 2 years now with the Patriots, and he's been a stud pass rusher, not just pass rushing, right? But just an overall
player. Yep.
Overall player over there in New England. And it makes you kind of wonder why would the Ravens let him go walk the field? I mean, I get that he wanted some money, but when you have a guy that's that dominant, was he, you just got done saying that you and Suggs and everybody, you figured that he was going to be, this guy. Obviously, the rest of the Ravens knew that too, and they still let him go.
The Ravens do a good job in knowing the personnel that fits their system. I mean, he's not the first pass rusher to come over there and walk away. And, but normally when you look at the Ravens defense, they're going to always have some great pass rushers, whether it's a rookie, whether it's a second, third year guy, or whether it's a veteran that they're bringing in. So I think it's certain positions over there that they know that they can kind of replace because my guy that was with the Packers last year, I just went blank there. He's going to kill me. He was with the Ravens as well, was drafted. Now he's with the Vikings. The best pass rusher the Vikings got.
Freaking got eight and a half sacks right now.
I just went blank there. He's gonna kill me from it. He's from Alabama too. But he was also on that same team, when I was with the Ravens, and they let him walk as well, and he became one of the highest paid pass rushers in the league. But yeah, man, Judon got a lot more ball left to play, and he's doing a hell of a job. But talking about the Patriots though, did you see the clip where Mac Jones was kind of looking back at the sideline? I guess they was trying to get Mac Jones' attention, and he kind of looked back, and you can read his lips, and he was like, F off. And I think he was talking to, the OC, the guy that was the head coach last year with the Lions or whatnot, and it seemed like he started calling his own plays. But I think Mac Jones has kind of established himself as like, look, I'm going to be the leader of this offense. We're going to do what I kind of want to do, what I like to do, and that's just what it is.
Well, I mean, that's great for the players, but does that put a bad thing when your coach, coaches wise, I mean, that's,
maybe, maybe, but Belichick never named the OC, so maybe, he was talking to ghosts, so you never know.
While we were talking about that, I remember that's Zay, man, Za'Darius Smith, right?
Za'Darius Smith, yeah. My guy Z, guy Z.
Yeah, he was, because I was like, man, Green Bay, but yeah, it is what it is. that's something that we're going to have to talk about here after a bit. But there was a game that surprised the holy snot out of me this week. And I'll tell you what, I didn't expect the Broncos to give the Chiefs a game. Especially offensively. They had 28 points right there, and I thought the Broncos had a real shot there near the end of the game. So what's going on there?
I think Russ probably had his best game of the year. I mean, it looked like the old Russ. And, whenever it looks like the old Russ, of course, whatever team he's playing for should, look good. And, it was unfortunate he went out with that head injury. But you got to go back to the rivalry standpoint. The Chiefs and Broncos have had a long rivalry going, forever. So when it comes to those rival games, you just never know what might happen. But, again, it shows the will and determination of the Chiefs and Pat Mahomes and figuring out a way to win as well.
Yeah, because the Broncos, their defense is real, right?
Yeah, they got some players. Yeah.
We know, it was a 12-9 game, against the Colts because it was just defense and everything, right? So on that Thursday night football game, I didn't expect, as good as Mahomes and the Chiefs has been, I didn't expect it to be a 34-28 game. I thought it was going to be, a 21-17, 21-12, something like that in the Chiefs' favor. Not 62 points being thrown up there. One of the highest scoring games this past weekend.
No, you're right. Got to go back to what the safety for the Titans said when they was asking him about the bad loss versus Jacksonville, man. There's no bad teams in the league. It's any given Sunday. You got to strap them up and play, and anybody can get beaten at any time.
Absolutely. And I think, is there any news or anything else you want to talk about this past week in sports before we end this?
In the NFL, I think it was kind of one of those weekends to where all the teams that you expected to win either had a close game or a bad game and lost. And, normally in the NFL towards the end of the year, a lot like, for instance, the Eagles already clinched, in the playoffs, and a lot of people, and already got their mindsets on vacations and stuff. So you start to see a little bit of bad ball with a few teams toward the end of the year, and I think this was one of those weeks.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about Carolina upsetting Seattle,
yes,
right?
Yes.
So yeah, and that was something that no one expected, I don't think. So, yeah, as you say, any given Sunday. Especially towards the end of the year when injuries and weariness starts to kick in.
We got to talk about Baker Mayfield. I've been killing him. I've been down on Baker Mayfield, man. I gotta give him his props. I don't think anybody understand how hard it is to, get signed by a team on Tuesday and or on Wednesday and have to play on Sunday. And we're talking about the quarterback position. So for him to be able to go and learn a system as quickly as he can and do whatever he can to help that team get a victory when they've been struggling all year, and then have to lead a team on a 98-yard drive to win a game. I got to shout out Baker and give him his props, because there's been a lot of people killing him this year, including myself. I've said some things that, he wasn't ready for and all those type things as far as his play in Carolina. And it's just wild to see. The NFL is a wild year. And like you said, then you watch Carolina and Sam Darnold goes to Seattle and beat a hot Seattle team. So it's just crazy. It was a crazy week of football, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be some crazy more weeks coming up.
Absolutely. Two guys that have had, off times, right?
Off years. Yeah. It's been an off year for both.
Yeah. Sam Darnold's kind of had an off year for a while, but
but I can't blame Sam though. He's in a situation as a rookie in New York where, he ain't have the pieces around. And sometimes as a, when you get drafted that high, it doesn't mean like you're ready to start. Sometimes some guys need some development. I just felt like he was just kind of thrown in the fire, and, we might see a better Sam Darnold, in the later part of his career.
There's nothing worse than walking into a team that doesn't have an offensive line and weapons, and then you have to face Bill Belichick twice a year.
Right.
You start seeing, the whole seeing ghosts thing is real. I feel like, because I think Matt Ryan has been seeing ghosts a lot this year because of, the lack of protection and stuff. But Yep, I think that's going to do it for this episode. Bleav in Colts brought to you by Bet Online. My name is Lawrence Owen. That's Jerraud Powers. And as usual, until next time, have a good one. Go Colts.
Do you believe?